Welcome to the second video in Module 4 where we're talking about managing creation of sites. In this video, we're going to talk about adding and managing pages quickly. Let's dive into it. So, Livingstone has a couple of use cases here, and Josiah is going to be the one responsible for implementing and creating these pages. First of all, they want to have public home pages for all of the different hotel and resorts sites in different regions, and as their business grows, that can continue to grow. They also want to have offer pages, and they want those pages to update those offers. In addition, they also want to have self-updating offer lists on offer pages for each hotel and resort. So we've talked about the other sites a little bit as far as the rewards page. So they've got a lot of pages that they want to create, even an intranet. We've already used public and private pages quite a bit so far in our exercises. Public pages are going to be accessible to anyone who visits the site, and private pages are only accessible to site members, as we've seen. So this really gives you a lot of flexibility when you're creating sites. If you can remember how we talked about site membership in the last lecture, how you can restrict it to be private or restricted or open, so you can kind of mix and match. You can have private sites with public pages, or you can create open sites, but then you can create private pages that are only accessible to site members. When you're creating pages, there are two different kinds of pages that you can create, or at least there are two main ones. The first one is going to be a widget page. This is pretty much the page that we've had in previous versions of Liferay, where you can add widgets to your page and content, and that's been a staple of Liferay for a long time. The newest page type is going to be a content page type, and that's new because it makes use of another new feature, which is the page fragments. So these pages are editable inline, and they're comprised of page fragments as well as widgets. In addition to using those two basic page type options, you'll also have the option to select one of these other additional options. So the basic order is you go to the site builder, you choose add a page, choose public or private. From there you choose a page type. Do you want widget, or do you want content page, or one of these other types? So there are 6 more types here. Let me explain what they are because some of them aren't exactly pages. So we have a couple of these that are just navigation options. For example, link to a page of this site. This is going to be simply a navigation option in that navigation widget that will just link to another page. In addition, page set is not actually a page exactly. What page set is, if you select this page type and then add additional child pages, it will become a navigation dropdown in your navigation widget. And if that doesn't make sense, just try adding one of these and adding some child pages, and you'll see in the navigation widget that it becomes a dropdown. And then the last one can just be a link to any URL, not necessarily in your Liferay site, but this is again another navigation option that you can use. So you create this link and then it can pop up in your navigation. Specifically, page set, link to a page of this site, and link to a URL. These are all navigation options for the navigation widget. And that leaves us with just 3 more page types. The first one is full page application, which is kind of self-explanatory. This is where you use one application, such as blogs, and it's going to be the entire application on that page. The second one is going to be panel. Panel means you have multiple widgets on a page, and then on the left side, you also have sort of a table of contents panel that lets you quickly jump to a specific widget. Embedded simply means that you use an iframe that references an outside link that will display inside of that iframe on that page. So again, the main page types are widget type, content page type, and then you have these additional options. You can see the UI on this image here. If you don't select a page type, you can also select a page template. So look at the screenshot of the UI here. When you're creating a page, you're going to get this on the left-hand side that says collections, basic pages, global templates. So if you select basic pages, you'll get these page types on the previous slide. If you select global templates, you'll get 3 default global templates for the blog application, search, and a wiki. These come shipped with Liferay by default. Basically what a page template is you create a page and you make that a template. And then you can use that template over and over, kind of like a cookie cutter, to make lots of pages. So these 3 are created by Liferay, but you can also create your own global templates. Global templates are accessible from any site on the Liferay DXP platform, but they have to be widget pages. They cannot be content pages. When you create a site page template, that gives you the flexibility to use a widget or a content page template. However, when you're creating a site page template, the restriction is that you can only use that site page template within that site. So you'll want to remember that. Okay, so we learned a lot here. Let's take a moment to fill out this knowledge check. And I'll go over it in just a second here. So, when you're creating pages, you have the ability to make them public or private. When we're talking about public and private in the context of site membership, we're talking about, can users become a member of this site? Is the site configured to be open, restricted, or private? But here we're talking about the pages themselves. Do you even need to be a site member to view them? So with public, no you don't. Any guest can view the site. But with the private pages, you need to be a site member. And there are 2 main page types that can be created. The widget page, which has been the page type that you can choose for all previous versions of Liferay. That includes both content and widget. But then there's the content page, which allows you to use page fragments as well as widgets and other types of content. All right, that's all we have in this video. See you in the next one.